Hey everybody, welcome back. So you've probably heard by now there's to be an oil boycott. They finally got to the point where they're like, oh, we're going to boycott Russian oil because of the Ukraine, because we're supposed to hate Russia now. And on top of that, to offset the prices, they're doing two things. One, that some states are suspending the tax that you pay on the oil, or one of the taxes that you pay on the oil. I think it's the state tax only, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And then the other thing that they're going to be doing is dipping into the oil reserves to offset some of that expense. And that's like the worst possible idea. There's so many bad moves being made, you have to wonder if it's being done on purpose, and a lot of people believe that it is. First of all, you're going to have to replace that oil sooner or later. You don't just distribute oil from the oil reserves and not fill it back up again. So who's going to pay for that, and when and how is it going to be done? Secondly, the oil industry in the United States is willing and able to produce more, and they're being held back. Representatives from the oil community, if you will, have been complaining about this, stating that they would love to drill more, they would love to produce more barrels. They're not being allowed to. They're being blocked from it. The pipeline is just a small factor of that, because the pipeline wasn't even live anyways, but that was a loss of jobs in industry regardless. But aside from the pipeline being shut down, a lot of other things were restricted or closed as well. And we're feeling the repercussions of that. Then they want to depend more on foreign oil, and that costs more. That's why we were trying to be independent with it in the first place. And now we're talking about dipping into oil reserves. And we're talking about backing off of, I believe, again, the state taxes. Not federal, and not, there's a lot of taxes and fees and things that go into your gas price. But one, if they give you a break on state tax, sooner or later they're going to turn it back on, and then it's going to jump back up again anyway. So that's going to hit you. And the oil reserves, it's my understanding, that's supposed to be for national emergency or wartime, with priority going to the Air Force. Am I mistaken on that? I'm pretty sure that's what it was supposed to be for, or what it's commonly used for, so that if we are at war and we can't get oil, the military can keep operating, in particular the Air Force, because, you know, the sky's the limit. Whoever has air superiority has superiority. And for national emergencies, like let's say Yellowstone popped and the whole country is covered with ash, and you're going to need that fuel for the National Guard and for emergency services if we can't get any fuel into the country. It's not to lower your gas price for a few months. That's not what it's supposed to be for. You're wasting it. And what happens if there is an emergency, or we are dragged into a war and those reserves are depleted? And again, how are we going to restore those reserves once they start to be depleted? He's already gone begging to OPEC, and they won't help him. At the last article I read on the subject said that the Arab nations won't even return his calls. Biden, that is. Obama Jr. or Obama Sr., as the case may be. Very senior. It's the same administration all over again, making the same mistakes. And I don't know why they don't just reverse some of those decisions. They've already had to backtrack on a lot of the stuff that they took away from the Trump administration to begin with, because a lot of the things that he did weren't so bad after all, apparently. But that's just some food for thought. You have to wonder. Oh, there go the bells.
Heaven's bells are ringing.
Yeah, an angel's getting his wings. Anyway, you have to wonder if it's not almost being done on purpose. If it's being done deliberately, because you hear a lot about, oh, Biden is senile, these politicians are stupid, Biden has dementia. Does he really? Can you be sure? How do you know that's not an act? I don't think these people are half as stupid as they act. I think they know exactly what they're doing, and acting like they're stupid or acting like there's something wrong with them gives them plausible deniability. And I have to wonder. I can't outright say it because this is ScrewTube and they will get you. If it's not being done deliberately. If it's not being done deliberately to really just unravel the nation as a whole, make things worse. So I don't know. Any thoughts on the subject?
I don't know. They trying to say that he's going to release like 1 million barrels a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
And then he calls it the Putin gas prices. But gas prices went up the day he was elected.
That's true.
It started going up like overnight, and it continuously rose. And then, of course, after the whole Russia thing, it really went up. But I don't think Putin is to blame when it went up right after the election.
Yeah,
Putin
and
wasn't involved.
They didn't stop buying that oil
No.
during the Ukraine crisis anyways.
Yeah, they didn't stop buying until people got on them about it.
And I don't think that's even, I think they were only just ratifying that now, so they were still buying that oil.
Yeah.
They're only just now getting around to it. And then what's that mean? And again, you know, American producers are able to get more, and you're not letting them do it.
Mm-mm.
You're blocking it. Why?
Because of climate change.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can't afford gas, so buy an electric car.
Yeah, that's what some politicians
Yeah.
said. Yeah, you're gonna spend what $80,000 on a Tesla, and you can barely afford a $5,000 used beat up car,
Yeah,
or you can barely afford your rent or mortgage.
yeah. We're just gonna run out and buy a whole new,
whole new car.
A whole new car. That's it. Just
Yeah.
throwaway nation.
But when they had the opportunity to move the corn oil, they didn't. Then you wouldn't have to worry about the gas.
That goes all the way back to Jimmy Carter.
Right, but still, an
That was his
opportunity
idea.
was there.
He wasn't a good president, but he had a good idea, and he wanted to convert everything to ethanol because if we overproduce the corn, hell, we throw it away. We overproduce corn, and it would be a cheap fuel source if the vehicles were able to run on like 100% ethanol. And that was his thing. It never came to fruition. Nobody took him seriously at the time. It wouldn't have been that bad of an idea. You'd be paying like 67 cents a gallon.
They'll find a way to charge you more, but still.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to do the digging, the drilling, and all of that, and the whole climate thing, and
Yeah.
putting all of this emissions in the air. But then you use corn. Now you don't have to get emissions tests, so they can't charge you for that.
Yeah.
And you won't have all this other stuff that goes along with it that they like to tax on you.
Oh, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
They'll find a way to stick you, charge you for using your own property.
I know.
That's basically what it is. It's a form of extortion.
Yeah.
But-
Taxation is legalized extortion.
Yeah, I know that people like to say legalized theft, but they're not really stealing it from you. You're kind of voluntarily giving it up. So
You
that
don't volunteer to give it up.
you sign the papers, you sign that W-2, because otherwise you can't work. That's
That's
extortion. You can't work. You pay the taxes on your house, or we'll sell it at public auction. That's extortion. You know, you pay the tags on your car, or else we won't let you drive it. We'll impound it if you try to drive it. That's extortion. You know, but people say theft. It's a little more in depth than theft. But I don't know. Any thoughts on that, folks? Feel free to post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. We hope that you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. Check check out some of the other videos if you have not. If you're curious about any random cat images that popped up in the feed, those are strays that we take care of. I do that deliberately because it helps with the uploading algorithm. If you wanted to help the channel out, there are links for that down below. Every little bit helps, and we sure do appreciate it. And if that's it, then what more can I say but stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.